Hello, welcome back to the channel, Up the Reds TV, with me, Andy. Okay, so please like, please share, and please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that if you guys could do that for me. So this one is the preview for Brentford v Liverpool, as we kick off at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, and it's on TNT. So firstly, just before we speak about that game, I'm just going to go back to yesterday's video. When I was mentioning the players' performances, I went from midfield straight onto the subs that came on, and I missed out Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak. Just to put the record straight on that for you guys. Look, Ekitike is going to be an absolute baller for us. He worked really hard for the Reds in the game, and obviously he scored that superb goal. He does work well with the team. He should be, he should be given a start in every game now, because he looks ready. He looks ready for the Premiership. He looks ready for the Champions League. He was ready for the Carabao Cup, and you know what happened there with his red card. So it should be a straightforward starter for me in the next up and coming games. Alexander Isak, look, we got 45 minutes out of him. He had a couple of shots, could have scored, couldn't he? But then he didn't show in the second half because of this groin strain that he's got. And we don't know how long he's had that. Was it prior to the game? Was it during the game that he got that? We won't know that. So, got those two out the way. Let's talk about Brentford. A surprise package for me. I thought they would struggle after Thomas Frank left, if I'm honest with you. But it's been quite the opposite. They've done all right. They do have 4 ex-Reds playing from, don't they? In Kelleher, Vanderberg, Jordan Henderson and Carvalho. I don't think Carvalho starts many games. But yeah, they're a side that can mix it about, having a look at their results. It's going to be a tough fixture after our midweek game against Eintracht Frankfurt. Look, they've also got a Brazilian called Thiago, not the Thiago that we know. He plays up front, and he is a handful. I think he's got 5 goals in 8 games. So, as I said, he's a handful. He's going to be a handful for Konate and Virgil van Dijk. He reminds me of the Crystal Palace forward. What is it? Matera or somebody like that. His name is just gone above my head. But yeah, he's a bit of a handful. 5 in 8, and he's hit the ground running for them. So we'll have to be careful on that. Jordan Henderson, he's playing in midfield. He looks like he's pulling the strings for them at his tender age that he is now. He must be 32, 33. We know what he's all about, so he'll be motivating the players around him. He'll be barking orders, won't he? So yeah, we'll have to be careful on what he does. And they've got 2 or 3 other good players as well that I could mention. But yeah, as I say, look, they've scored 1 set-piece goal, because everybody thinks they're a set-piece team. They've scored 1 set-piece goal, just like we have. We've only scored 1 set-piece goal, haven't we, in the Premier League, and that was Dom Slobosly's winner against Arsenal. Right, let's look at Arne Slot's press conference. So, obviously, at the beginning, Frimpong's out, Alisson's out, Isak and Gravenberch. We're going to look at this. There's a question mark over whether they'll be involved tomorrow. They're going to have a look at them today in training and see see what happens over there. He was asked about Wirtz. He said he likes his general game and his approach, and yes, 2 good assists, but nobody will talk about the one, how he set up it was an assist because it was Chiesa who had the assist, but what he did in the equaliser. So yeah. He mentioned Onslaught has a tendency to mention when questioned, and he seems to give the same answer in the last 2 or 3 presses. Seems to mention set pieces, long ball and low block. So me personally, if I'm honest with you, what's the word? I'm not getting bored, but I just wish he wouldn't mention it anymore, because for me, it's his job personally, to work on that with the team. He doesn't need to tell the world, because when he starts telling the world, there's a tendency for us Reds thinking that all teams are going to play like that against us. Long ball, low block, set pieces. And it's not the case. As I said, we've only scored 1 set piece. Yes, we've had to deal with a load of low blocks and long balls, but that's just the nature of the beast. That's how football is. And it's his job, and he's to get that right and to make sure that the team comes out at the other end of those. He also said that he shows the team in the meetings about all the good things that they do and the not so good things that they do as a team, which is the norm anyway, And so Curtis Jones' question popped up about his 122 touches, the most of a Liverpool player since Opta started in 2003, 2004. And he said that he was not surprised about the amount of touches that Curtis had, because he played him and Dom in slightly lower positions. And he also said that, look, he liked how he's progressed, and like the others, he's one of 6 players who can play in midfield. So that's just probably his way of praising Curtis, and just to say, look, there are others in the squad that can take one of those midfield positions. So, but I think he's played really well. I think he played well when he came on against United, and he certainly played well the other night for me. Mo Salah, he said, look, we don't expect Mo to miss chances. He is missing chances. He hasn't got an idea why, but he said Salah will score goals in the coming weeks and months. And, he's away at the AFCON, so we might have to wait till January to see that happening. And for me, so my team on the back of those injuries, maybes or not maybes, Mahmoudashvili, Bradley, bring Kirkus back in, because I don't think Robbo can play 2 games in a week. Konate, Van Dijk, Jones and Slobosline midfield, Wirtz, and then Gakpo, Ekatike. Now, for me, I'd like to see Chiesa start the game, but more than likely it's going to be Salah. And if Salah does start, he has to put in a shift, defensive-wise, as well as doing things up top. So, and yeah, but for me personally, I would start Chiesa. Just talking about Chiesa, by the way, he's been named Chartered Standard September Player of the Month. So really pleased for him, because he has knuckled down this season, and when asked to do, he's done things, which is really good for him. He wants to be around, doesn't he? And you can tell that when we score the goals, first one celebrating, So, okay, it's a short video, this one. You give me your thoughts about the team. Should the team that played on Wednesday minus Frimpong, obviously he's injured and probably Isak as well, I think he won't play. Do you think it should be Salah or Chiesa to start? And as I said, me personally, I would start Chiesa and probably bring Salah off the bench. Right, okay. I'm going to do the post-match on Sunday. Obviously, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. It'll be 10 o'clock at night when the game finishes, or around about that time. And after all the interviews and whatever, hopefully the Reds can get back to winning ways in the Premier League. That's certainly what we need, and to keep in the mix, because other teams will play before us. And we could see ourselves out the top four by the time we kick off. Right, have a boss evening and have a good weekend. I'll speak to you guys on Sunday. It'll come out at 1 o'clock, the post-match. Please like, please share, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so. And I will speak to you in a couple of days. Up the Reds.